Welcome to Celestial Insights, a weekly podcast that brings the stars down to earth. I'm your host, astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks. My purpose is to provide practical, unique, and insightful guidance to help you navigate the energies of the week like a boss. Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and on this episode, I will discuss the astrology for the week of November 9th, 2025. It's time for the annual 2026 predictions panel with two of my astro besties, Sarah L. Harar and Tiffany Harelik. Join us to learn about the major planetary shifts of the year, the ingresses, retrogrades, and eclipses, and how these cycles will shape our personal lives and the collective landscape. 2026 is a year of major transitions. It's a year of the one, so there's an amazing amount of new energy that is being seeded. This webinar is designed to help you prepare rather than react. You'll walk away with key dates, themes, and guidance to help you navigate the year with clarity and confidence. You can sign up at the link in the show notes or my website, astrologybyceleste.com. If you can't make it live, you will get the recording. This podcast is supported by tools and practices I use myself. One of those is Solar Fire software. Whether you're an astrology hobbyist just exploring charts, an enthusiastic student, or you have a full professional practice, Solar Fire is such a powerful companion. It doesn't just store charts, it animates them. You can move forward or backward in time and watch transits, progressions, and timing techniques unfold in real motion. I customize chart layouts, keep my client notes organized, and run reports I use all the time. It's deep enough for advanced work, but still approachable when you're learning. You can use my code Celeste15 for 15% off at alabe.com. The theme of this week is the Truman Show, and there are three big things I want you to think about as you navigate this week. The first is that Mercury is stationing retrograde today at 6 degrees of Sagittarius, and we'll move back to 20 degrees of Scorpio, where it turns direct on November 29th. When a planet stations, it's like a branding iron. There's a concentration there. So if you have anything at 6 Sagittarius, especially a degree on either side, there's definitely going to be a story in your life. Or opposite in Gemini, square in Virgo or Pisces. So just be extra careful with communication, anything you buy, and driving, moving. Retrogrades are optical illusions. The planets don't actually go backward in the zodiac, but it's a great time to do all the RE words, rethinking, revisiting, revising, reviewing, rather than starting anything new. Revising things from the past will bring more success. I always find some mistakes when Mercury is retrograde. It's the planet of communication. It also rules commerce and thought processes. Double check all your receipts. You're more likely to be double charged during this transit. Sagittarius, the glyph looks like an archer. It's the half horse, half man imagery. Its key phrase is I explore. This is the wanderer, the storyteller, the philosopher, the preacher on top of the mountaintop. It's a mutable fire sign. So there's this changeable nature to the energy. At its best, Sagittarius brings optimism, joy, humor, and a broader view. It is ruled by Jupiter, the great benefic. I love Sagittarius energy. It's feisty, it's fiery. Great storytellers are Sagittariuses. Lots of comics. Also, there's an athletic nature to people with Sagittarius energy. It rules the hips and the thighs. A lot of dancers, singers, pop stars, and athletes have strong Sagittarius energy. Now, when Mercury is retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius, we can see more of the shadow energies. Notice that people are talking too much, exaggerating, speaking without thinking, and then wishing they could take what they said back. This is being so direct and blunt that you come off tactless. Telling a huge fish story can be something that you see with Sagittarius energy. If you have little kids, this is a great time to notice this. I get this image of this little boy telling a story, and it just gets bigger and bigger and more expansive. Hopefully it hasn't turned into a bad habit as an adult where there's just flat out fabrications. So over the next couple of weeks, people will be waxing philosophical. What is the meaning of life is something that can be coming up with this energy, especially since Mercury is retrograding back to make a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. So there's going to be themes of power dynamics in the collective. People may get on their soapboxes when Mercury is in Sagittarius. Mercury and Mars will meet this week in Sagittarius on Wednesday the 12th. This is car crash energy. Drive carefully, speak thoughtfully, because Mars is sharp. Mars cuts and words can wound. Be careful with fire and knives. There's a big potential for arguments, mistakes, and misfires. Mars is the planet of war. A field mistake is a huge possibility around this time. This retrograde is going to bring significant topics around travel and logistics, delays, mix-ups, and more. Sagittarius rules long-distance travel. Mercury rules transportation and commerce. We already saw that a UPS plane crashed into Kentucky. This was a tragedy, and it's sending ripples through the logistical network. So any packages on this plane are destroyed. The people whose lives are thrown into upheaval. I believe there were almost 10 people who were killed. So this is a huge tragedy. But UPS is a big transportation agency, and I've read that it's going to have a ripple effect throughout the logistical system, and there's lots of rerouting and all sorts of things going on related to that. As well as the government shutdown is reducing aviation operations right before the travel rush. You may notice a notable shift on November 18th when Mercury slips back into Scorpio and starts spilling secrets. There's a big tone shift. What started out as a good time or a fun conversation can suddenly get intense, reveal deeper motives, secrets, or power struggles. A celebration during this time could turn into a confrontation. And then somebody's like, I thought we were just joking, but someone really hit a nerve. If you've been listening for a while, you know that I've been wondering what is going to come up because Saturn stations direct on Thanksgiving in the sign of Pisces. And how is this going to show up? In the U.S., we know it's going to show up where people are feeling somewhat separate. That's a Saturn word, or lonely because they can't get together with their loved ones. Flights just may be canceled and people may decide, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to not even go because I might not be able to get back home. Or people get stuck places and there's a lot of intensity around Thanksgiving. I've been suggesting always, whenever you're traveling, get full insurance for your flights, hotels, and everything, just in case there are things outside of your control, like a government shutdown, that leads to complications. The government already said 10% of flights are going to be down, and Thanksgiving tends to be the biggest travel day of the year. But if you have to go, give yourself extra time. Consider driving rather than flying. If you need to ship a package, do so early because of the corporate greed and actions being taken. Lots of people are not going to be spending a lot of money on Black Friday or any money at all, except with a local small business. So commerce is going to shrink as well due to boycotts. But Mercury retrograde is an invitation to slow down, to be reflective, to go internal, to step away. And I really actually like some of the things that come up within me during this time. Look at where you have Sagittarius and Scorpio on your chart. It's going to move from 6 Sagittarius back to 20 Scorpio. And the house that you have these two in, there may be themes related to topics of the nature of both Sagittarius and Scorpio. So just pay attention and witness how this shows up. The next thing I want to make you aware of is that Jupiter will be going retrograde at 25 degrees of Cancer on the 11th, which is Tuesday, and it's going to move back to 15 degrees of Cancer before going direct on March 10th, 2026. Cancer rules the homeland, nutrition, family, belonging, the stomach. Jupiter rules wealth, the legal system, judges, philosophies. It's the planet of expansion. Cancer's a water sign. Big ships may be a story at this time. It could be cargo ships or other ships. That could be a topic related to this Jupiter retrograde. Retrogrades pull back the tape so we can see what's underneath. There may be legal rulings or government actions around food security. The Trump administration was ordered to pay people their food assistance benefits. Maybe people who had these benefits delayed will receive them at this time. Cancer has associations with fertility and caregiving, so there may be announcements about that or stories in the news related to maternity care or paternity issues. Birthright citizenship may come up again into legal review or public debate. With Mercury in Sagittarius, a sign that rules long-distance travel and foreign lands, the planet is in detriment in this sign in its exile, far away from home as it can be, and Jupiter stationing retrograde in Cancer, which rules homelands. There can be stories about people being losing their visa privileges or trying to go somewhere and not being able to get their visas. This could be a big story that comes up. There can be stories about shipping lines, oceans. There can be a maritime conflict. I keep getting a sinking ships energy, but that could be figurative rather than literal. Retrogrades bring issues and problems, delays, conflicts. The collapse of things that were contemplated is quite possible. If there's tension with Venezuela, we may expect to see things on the oceans. Jupiter is stationing retrograde in a trine with Saturn and Pisces. So oil tankers or cargo ships or ports may come up. The seas feel stormy, maybe literal or symbolic. But it's a good time to think about, what are you most thankful for or grateful for? Keep hope alive, even if things feel a little difficult at this time. Jupiter retrograde is a time where you may be really spending some time reviewing your feelings about what is family, what does true abundance mean. You may be finding yourself being especially emotional a couple days before or after Jupiter goes retrograde. The last thing I want to make you aware of is that we have a last quarter moon on Tuesday at 20 degrees of Leo. This is a significant point in this lunar cycle that began with the Libra new moon. Last quarter moons are crossroad moments. They ask us to evaluate what has unfolded since the new moon and decide what needs to be released, redirected, or rethought. Leo is the sign of royalty, performance, creativity, and the desire to be seen, valued, and acknowledged. Its key phrase is, I create. This energy is dramatic. It's fiery. Somebody might want to be in the spotlight. This is the circus coming to town energy. The ringmaster who stands in the center of the arena, calling the entire crowd to attention, orchestrating the show. And with Mercury retrograde, it's kind of like this imagery of, look here, but something's going on. You're not getting the whole story. There's something deceptive happening. A pickpocket is in on the side of the theater, but there's going to be some sense of spectacle. Emotions may get very expressive. You may see people making statements with their clothing, with their makeup, with how they're moving their bodies. They want to be acknowledged. You will see more red. People's feelings want to be recognized. This is a great time to show someone you really care by doing something nice for them, telling them the words about how they're special to you. Really take some time to acknowledge them. Now, the sun is in Scorpio, and Scorpio is strategic, investigative, private. You may become deeply aware of power dynamics within yourself or witnessing through other people. There is tension here between wanting the attention and needing privacy. What is being shown to the public and what is being negotiated behind the scenes may be very different on the world stage. There's issues around control, resources, and leverage. Jupiter is stationing retrograde at the same time as this last quarter moon on the same date. I'm thinking with Jupiter in Cancer that something big is going to be announced on this day or right around this day. It's activating Israel's chart, and in the 10th house, Israel has a big stellium in Libra with the moon that rules the people, Mars, conflict, Saturn, the authority, and Pluto, the transformer. This could bring a lot of emotional weight to decisions that are coming up. There are rumors that the Trump administration may propose to give financial offers to Palestinians in Gaza to leave the land for 10 years with a promise that they can come out and get some money. This is going to make big news if it happens. Jupiter getting some wealth to remove yourself from your land. With Mercury retrograde, this deal does not seem like it is in good faith. Now, this might not be the story at all. This might have already happened, but this energy could be aligned with this. Pay attention to what is designed to draw your eye. Is there something going on beneath the scenes? What is not being said? What is being traded? What is being concealed? What is being negotiated out of sight? Notice what you do to get attention from your partner, from your children, from your coworkers, from strangers. This is a great time to do some internal review. Scorpio season invites us to look at our shadows. It's a great time to consider why. The moon phase family of this cycle began August 16th, 2023, when the sun and the moon were both at 23 Leo. What was seeded in your life around that time? Is there a story you can relate to that relates to Leo topics? 9 months later, there was a first quarter moon where the sun was in Taurus and the moon was in Leo, both at 25 degrees. May 15th, 2024. The full moon of this cycle was earlier this year on February 12th, 2025. The sun in Aquarius and the moon in Leo, both at 24 degrees. The last quarter moon of this cycle is on Tuesday. The sun in Scorpio, moon in Leo, both at 20 degrees. So just notice if you see a story. This episode is called The Truman Show. This was a movie that starred Jim Carrey as a person whose life was like a TV show. It was stage reality, and the producer controlled the story while Truman was kept in the dark. So there could be shadow ruler stories coming out at this time. Harry S. Truman was the 33rd president known for shaping the post-World War II world order. He made some of the biggest decisions in history. He dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to end World War II, one of the most controversial decisions in U.S. history. His doctrine, announced in 1947, declared the U.S. would support nations resisting authoritarian or communist pressure. That began the Cold War framework, and that makes me think about Venezuela. There is all this talk about how we're going to go in there, about drug cartels. That feels like a sham. It's really about the oil that they have. And they nationalized resources a long time ago. Now, the Marshall Plan was a massive economic aid program to build Europe after World War II. This makes me think about Gaza, turning it into a beach resort and trying to get people to get out of there. He supported the founding of NATO. He started the Korean War. Framed as defending democracy, he also desegregated the military, and soldiers of color and women, any of their honors are being taken off walls or removed from websites as though there are no people of color or women in the military. He also recognized the state of Israel. So see if you notice any of these stories coming up this week. One of my greatest pleasures is mentoring astrology enthusiasts and professionals who want to deepen their craft. If you're building your skills or refining your approach, we can work together one-on-one to strengthen your chart interpretation, timing techniques, client readiness and your confidence in putting it all together. You can schedule a single session or choose a mentoring package for ongoing guidance. Details are at astrologybyceleste.com on the services page. On Sunday, the word of the day is delayed. This is the day Mercury stations retrograde at 6 degrees of Sagittarius. Great day. Slow down. Think before you say anything. There's a increased opportunity to have problems. Tech stuff may go haywire. There can be some systems down. If you're traveling by plane, there could be big delays or any kind of transportation, frankly. So go to the bathroom before you leave the house. If there's a car accident or some kind of problem, you could be stuck in your car for an unexpectedly long period of time. Go internal, review, revisit, revise all the good things that come with Mercury retrogrades. You could kind of laugh when you see things come up. On Monday, the word of the day is dramatic. The Cancer moon will meet Jupiter, both at 25 degrees. Moon, Jupiter can be delicious. You may want to eat some hearty soup or something that satisfies your nostalgia for mom or dad's cooking. You may need a hug or nurturing. And all you have to do is ask with Jupiter, the greater benefic, activated. The Leo moon begins at 9:33 a.m. Pacific time. This is a big shift from Cancer to Leo. Someone could get really emotional and burst out, "I just love you so much," with this Leo moon. Although the next thing the moon does is oppose Pluto. So there could be some grand gesture where someone feels self-conscious about blurting out their true feelings. And they could be like, "Oh my goodness, I love you," where someone proclaims their affection and you're a little uncomfortable. The moon will oppose Pluto and then square Venus in Scorpio, and that's at 5 degrees. Leo moon square Venus in Scorpio. This can be, feeling a little uncomfortable, someone's big display of affection. I remember years ago, someone left me flowers. I was single at the time, on my doorstep without a note. And so I had no idea who they were from. It was uncomfortable. I think I know who did it, but no one ever fessed up to it. On Tuesday, the word of the day is heartache. Jupiter at 25 degrees of Cancer stations retrograde at 8:41 a.m. When a planet stations, it's a big intensity to the energy, 5 days before, especially and after. Cancer is a water sign. It's emotional. So people may have really big emotions. This is the day that we have the last quarter moon at 9:28 p.m. at 20 degrees of Leo. And Leo rules the heart. So there could be literal life and death issues with someone having a heart attack, or just feeling a sense of a bit of heartbreak because a fight they got into with their partner with this Mercury retrograde, or tried to make a move on someone and the person was not interested with the Leo moon square Venus. This day can be a bit intense. On Wednesday, the word of the day is credibility. This is the day Mercury retrograde meets Mars in Sagittarius, both at 6 degrees. So they are mutually applying to each other. If you have anything at 6 degrees of the mutable signs, pay attention. If it's Sag, it might be coming from within you, where you get Mercury Mars can be mad as a hornet, steam coming out of your ears kind of thing, or moving so fast you cause an accident. If you have something at 6 Gemini, it's coming from outside of yourself. Someone else may bump into you. If you have stuff at 6 Virgo or Pisces, this is a square. There could be an internal tension. If you have a little kid with something like this, you could see them get really frustrated about trying to figure out a math problem or tell a story and it's just not coming out right. It'll be interesting. Mercury is in the sign of its detriment in Sagittarius. There is energy of someone telling a big fib or being called out as having no credibility. There can be a lot of pride involved because the moon at 29 degrees of Leo squares Uranus at 29 Taurus. This is like stubborn Taurus, proud and haughty Leo. Some kind of work product could be an issue. There may be something about the president of the United States. The people are thinking about him. His ascendant is at 29 Leo. That square to Uranus suggests some kind of upheaval related to wealth or health of people. The Virgo Moon begins at 3:51 p.m. Pacific time. Virgo is a sign of health, so people are turning to health matters. Is there an announcement of some kind of new replacement for Obamacare that people are incredulous and not even believing it's real? That is quite possible. Virgo moons are a great time to get organized, to bring order to chaos, to declutter. Great time for planning, making lists, thinking about how you can pick the best ingredients for your health and well-being in what you are making or putting into your food. On Thursday, the word of the day is besieged. Besieged is a topic around conflict where we talk about enemies on both sides. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. The Virgo moon, and the moon rules the people, is square Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius on one side at 5 degrees, and then shortly later, Mars in Sagittarius on the other side. So somebody is trapped between hostile forces. You may be finding someone's expecting you to mediate between two angry people, and it's really an uncomfortable situation. Silence is golden is what I would say about this. The moon will meet the south node at 16 degrees, and the south node can send us down the drain. On Friday, the word of the day is clout. This is, don't you know who I am kind of energy. Even though the moon has moved into Virgo, we still have the energy of the last quarter moon in Leo. Those hard aspects to the moon kind of reverberate for the next week. I just get someone who thinks they're special saying that to a bunch of people standing around looking at them as the moon opposes Saturn retrograde in Pisces at 25 degrees. This could be someone well-known getting drunk and kicked out of a bar. On Saturday, the word of the day is siesta. The Libra moon begins at 1:43 a.m. Pacific time. So the switch from Virgo to Libra can be a nice one if you were feeling very critical or nitpicky with the moon in Virgo. In Libra, you can find more balance. There's this striving for harmony and fairness. The Balsamic Moon, which is the last phase of the moon cycle where the moon is losing the last of her light, is at 7:38 p.m. Pacific time at 9 Libra. 9 Libra is near a fixed star called Diadem. And diadems are crowned, things royal people wear on their heads. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any story related to crowns or anything being recovered from the theft at the Louvre. They found suspects, so we'll see if there's anything about that. That was done right before the new moon of this cycle. And I wrote down, we're talking about a leader, something he did yesterday that shows his mental disability or age. So that's it for this week's episode. Feel free to email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com with any astrology and action stories. Or let me know how the daily themes are playing out for you. Take care, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening to Celestial Insights. To learn more about my work, please visit my website, astrologybyceleste.com, where I offer personal readings, horary consultations, cosmic coaching, group events, and classes to help guide people to higher levels of fulfillment. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Astrology by Celeste. If you enjoyed Celestial Insights, please help others find the show. Follow, rate it 5 stars, or write a nice review. I would so appreciate it. I'm astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks, and I'll be back next week.